Well, we're back again after lunch. Different camera angle. Try not to get so much glare on the thing. And we're going to try to finish the wing. Let me bring it up here so I can see the chat. Okay, great. Whatever. Okay, let's go. Okay, come on. Go to my channel. Come on. Yeah, set that here. And we got the chat open. That's good. Okay. What I need is a holder to hold this right here. I think I'll make that. Some type of holder to hold this right here. Let's see if we got something. I know I got a holder, but I don't know where it is. Well, heck. Ah, here it is. Okay. I got a holder right here. Tighten that up. Now, if I clamp it to right there, man, just a genius. What are we going to do here? Oh, I see. Come on. I have to think about this for a minute. It's got a 1/4 nut on it. Let's see here. That's 1/4 Man, I can't win. Let's see if we can get this done like this. I want to be able to see the chat. Can't be this difficult. There we go. All right. There we go. Hey, Scott. Glad to see you made it. Now it's too heavy for the clamp. I can't win. There we go. Well, there we go till it falls down, but I'll work on that later. Okay, what I'm doing there is hooking this monitor up here so I can see the chat. over the bench. All right, make sure to like, subscribe, share the videos. And here we go. All right, I've cut 14 of these half rib things here. We're gonna go ahead and create a rib and get it set. How I do this is Hunt marks 2 lines on here, top and bottom. So you just line those up. Then pin this to your foam. Of course, normally I would cut them out, but I'm going to just go ahead and pin it, cut it, and sand it all in one action. So make sure you can see what I'm doing here. Yep. Okay. It's a nice thing with working with John is one guy can be the cameraman and one guy can be the work. We'll just rough this in. It doesn't have to be pretty. And then actually I'm going to pin the one side to this. So this is LH1. Goes to the front. That's the center rib. That's the center. This is LH1 here. There we go. This has got to be boring. It just has to be. I don't know whether I could sit and watch somebody do this. But you know what? I think we'll kill this light here. That's this one here. That might help the glare. Okay, so now I have both ribs pinned, one to each side of the foam. I'm going to take my sanding block. You know, I had another block of sorts. What did I do with it? I'll go ahead and use the long block, I guess, when I get this roughed in. I'm going to go ahead and try to complete this wing today. Or get at least 90% of it knocked out. Now, whether I scream it all, you know, I gotta eat, I gotta, like I said before, it's very hard to talk for 2 hours straight, 3 hours straight. I don't know that I could do it for 8 hours straight, or whatever, how long it takes to build a wing. Okay, it's roughed in pretty well. We'll take the 320 and clean it up. Hey, if you know, old Scott here had a problem with posting to the YouTube, super chat, and everything. If you have a problem and you can't get on here, message me on Stunt Hangar so I can clean it up. See, what happens is when I'm streaming with my phone at John's, it's so small. You know, when I'm trying to, I could possibly block you, and that's what happened to Scott. So I don't want to block anybody from this unless they're causing trouble. But if it accidentally happens, you know, happened to you, get a hold of me on Stunt Hangar, give me your YouTube name, and I'll get you unblocked. Because the free flow of information and ideas is the way to make better model builders. I watch all sorts of videos on YouTube. There's a kid, Micro Machines, that, man, this guy really knows his shit for a kid. Okay, 2 ribs are done. So this is LH1 and L1. L1. This is LH1. So now we'll go to 2 and 3. Now I cut these big, but I really cut them too big. See, there's a 3/16 of an inch. There's a 16th. I mean, that ain't bad, but we'll go back with a knife and kind of clean them up a little bit so I don't have as much sanding to do. Ouch. I like to sand, but I don't like to sand uselessly. So looks so easy. That was great when Steve Hines says that. Makes it look so easy. Well, it is easy. If you're doing it hard, you ain't doing it right. We got 9 watchers. And I only got one thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up button. Let me hit that myself. Now we got two. I don't know how many of you guys are watching this on the phone. I'm not even sure you could hit the like button on the phone. I went and looked at the Big Irons YouTube channel. The young guy builds model trains. There's plenty of model train guys in here, I'm sure. Like I said, YouTube model builders. That's it's a really cool train channel. I watch a couple of train channels where they're live steam, big gauge. I mean, it's like quarter scale, big stuff. The guys who do that are mostly machinists. They make all those parts themselves. There are no kits for a huge train like that. Of course, I did see a big Japanese electric train. Big electric one you can ride on. Fiberglass body. That's what I ought to get into, is building something somebody will buy. I mean, I do sell my airplanes, and I do get a good price for them. But you certainly couldn't make a living on it. Come on. Okay, let's clean that one up. And we're not going to do H2 and 3 because those are specialty ribs. I think how I'm going to do that is a 16th inch balsa with 64th ply on each side. We'll see how strong it is. Those are the landing gear clip ribs. And don't forget the little, hey Dennis, you almost missed the show. Well, I'm here. This one might run a little long. It depends how I feel. I mean, if you guys make me talk for 2 hours straight, I can't do it. But, you know, if I could take a break or whatever, we might run this for a while. At least till dinner. That would be like 3 hours. See what I could get done in 3 hours. Inside the skunk works, exactly correct. I would love to go to work for one of those places building models for them. Okay, Of course, then it would become a job and then I'd hate it. Just like everything. Okay, we had a piece of that wood. We got to have this piece back here. So these basically are all the same. You know what? Let's use the thicker stuff for that back piece. Now this is 1/8. Let's see if 1/8 fits in there nicely, or no. Scott, thank you very much. The super chats are super appreciated. They help me pay for Rusty and let's see, that's 3/32. There we go. We'll break out one of my 13-gram pieces. Now this piece of wood here, 13 grams, 332. Somebody want to figure that out for me. It's not super light, but it's not heavy wood. So let's make a mark and cut that off straight so I can get more than a couple out of there. 4 by 36, 3/32, 13 grams. What weight is that? Go to Stunt Hangar and put it in the balsa calculator at the top. This is, like I say, this is a heavier piece, but it'll be fine for what I'm doing. They are just the trailing edge shear webs. And these are important. And because of the distance here, there's a long distance between the trailing edge ribs. On a geodesic, you have to have a filler. Now, the trailing edges do get boxed, and they also get a block in there to accept the hinges. What I wanted to do was cut a foam leading edge and a foam trailing edge and sheet them with 16th. You know, it's really a cool feature, but I'm kind of, it's 13 grams, Rusty. It's 4 by 36 by 3/32. I think it's in the 5-pound range. So now we have a, except I don't like that. I don't like that. It's a little shy. Ah, there goes my, it's a good thing that it's a good thing that a good piece of wood wasn't there. Ah, come on. Got to tell you, These stupid notepads, phones, and all that other business really suck for doing this stuff. Let's see if this will work. Uh-huh. Not really. I know. I got it. I got it. Give me a second, guys. I got to clamp this up here. I just thought of something. What the heck did I do with it? It's not in there. Not in here. Not there. No, that ain't right. It ain't 2 1/4 pound wood. Okay, we got this. Where is the clamp? So, look over here. All right. I got it now. I'll show you what I'm going to rig up here. This stupid thing. I'm going to take one of these clamps here. We're going to clamp this puppy right like so. Then I'm going to take this this will drive me nuts. I'm going to take this, screw it into this catch here, slide it into here. What a Mickey Mouse deal. But at least I'll be able to see and read. I think. Okay, got to unplug it here so I can screw it around. There we go. It fell down, and it won't fall down this time. I don't believe. Oh, damn. You can't touch these things anywhere without something happening. No. Man. Okay. It's up there now. Stupid thing. If I can remember to shut it off. Apologize for all the rigmarole, but it'd be nice to have this set up for next time so I don't have to monkey with it. So there you have it. So now I can see the chat. Whew. Okay, I broke this piece of wood, which is not a big deal because it wasn't my best wood. Let's figure out what it was. Rusty says 2¼ pounds, but that ain't it. That wood weighs. Come on. 13 grams. 13 grams. Length is 36. Width is 4 inches. And the thickness of it is 332. That wood weighs. Oh, it is right. 3.67 ounces. So 3½ pound wood. I broke a good piece of wood. Oh well. Oh, it's 15 grams, not 13. Let's see what we got here. 15. Still contest wood, still in the 4-pound range. Four-and-a-quarter pound wood. So that's a good piece of wood. It's just not as good as what I have. The wood that I'll be using for the sheeting is in the 3½ pound range, 13 and 14 grams. Okay. All right, let's get back to work here. It's a shame I broke it though. It'll be a 3-inch piece now. Okay. It's an 1/8 piece, don't need that. So let's try again. This time we're going to do it different. We're going to cut it first and then sand it. Cut it, sand it, shape it, mold it. Remember, you have to have these pieces. Well, you don't have to do anything, but you'll be sorry if you don't. So put it in there. Let's pin it so it doesn't move. These wings, this style of wing kind of works like an I-beam. You wouldn't think an I-beam would be very strong, but every piece, it's a monocoque system. It's every piece locks into the next piece. So these pieces that I'm cutting here, you say, well, no big deal. They go right here in the center. This piece here goes right here in the center on top of the trailing edge wood. Well, when this comes into shear, there'll be another piece of wood standing up between the two pieces of 3/32 trailing edges. And this creates a box. So it's important. It's just, I can't explain to you how much of importance it is. So let's mark these out. L2, L3, move to the next. These two ribs are plywood. These are landing gear mounts, so we're not going to do those. Throw that away. Put this one here. Should do L4 and 5. L4, keeping that to the top. Pretty bad when you stick your finger in the pin box and get a stick and it pulls out with your finger. L5, always keep the numbers to the top. That way when it goes back in the cradle for building, you know that you have your... This lost foam setup was super ingenious. And I had thought of something, before I even met Bob, I had thought of something, because I was going to do a project, an egg crate wing. And Ron said, plot it out. So I tried plotting it out, and what a mistake that is. It can be done, but man, what a lot of work. And the wing that I built was not impressive. It was not what I was looking for. So I had thought about taking a foam wing and cutting it up into an egg crate, and then was introduced to the Bob Hunt Lost Foam system, and that's exactly what I was thinking of. And so Bob has come up with a super... Whatever the foam core is for the positive, the negative is the exact opposite. And when you use the positives to go in the negatives, you get an exact copy of the foam wing, less the foam. And you wouldn't think, well, foam's not very heavy. Yes, it is. I'm going to build this wing and I'm going to prove it to you. This wing will be, without the bell crank, between 4 and 5 ounces. A foam wing is going to be 6 to 8 ounces in that state. Maybe even more, maybe 10 ounces. And then I hear the theory, well, you can sand more on the finish. Yeah, well, that's not how it works either. I heard, my foam wing is only an ounce lighter or ounce heavier than a built-up wing. Nah, ain't buying it. Now, foam wings are nice. They look better. They're quicker to build. You're guaranteed to get it straight as long as the surface you're working on was straight. Let's see here. Gotta go back to the live streaming tools. There we go. Remember, like, subscribe, share the videos. Get out of that. All right. 12 now, 8 thumbs up. Smash that like button, guys. I know you hate to hear me say that. It helps the channel so much. You share me on social media, that helps. I mean, every little bit helps get the word out. You know, before this coronavirus nonsense came about, I had told Jerry we have a couple of circles in Dayton that are just, I don't know, in need of repair. So my idea was, and everybody feel free to use my idea that's going to come out. I don't know if we got any club representatives or whatever. You need to call up Domino's, Pizza Hut, Mario's, Emo's, whoever you could think of, pizza parlors, and say, I have an advertising idea for you. Come and paint a couple of giant pepperoni pizzas on our circle. So not only will the club benefit, you'll get your circles capped and painted for free. Now you're going to be walking on a pizza, but who cares? The pizza parlors will get great advertising from the aircraft flying overhead. Now, like where the Dayton field is, the airplanes are flying overhead continuously. So you look out the window, you see Domino's or Pizza Hut pizza on the ground, and I have never seen anything like that. So go ahead. It's been put out for posterity now, so I can prove that it was my idea. But if you want to use it, go ahead and use it. But now with this stuff going on here, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of pizza advertising. Or maybe there is, I don't know. L4, L5. And we need a little filler there. Now there were some guys down in Florida, can't remember his name, Wilk, the carrier guy. They had a green circle, looked like a volleyball court, not volleyball, tennis court. That looked like a good place to run. And the guys in Brazil have some nice looking circles. And anybody that's looking to do that Pizza Hut deal, you might want to call Darcy or DRC Advertising. They handle big accounts like Anheuser-Busch. And those, I don't, not exactly sure who would hold Pizza Hut contract, but you might start there. I mean, I ought to do it myself, but just for a free seal cap. Nothing's free, but you know what I mean. Okay, so now we're going to make two half ribs. So what do you think? There's a lot of work that goes into one of these things. If you don't like work, you ain't going to like control line. Yep. Can we see okay? I mean, it's hard to see with this. It looks pretty dark. Why does it look that way? Can't figure it out. So, I've got that light on. Let's try this one. Maybe that helped. I don't know. Ain't no good either. Turn this off. See what happens. I just don't know what kind of light to bring you so that it's not so, because it's so dark in here. Let's try that. Did that help? No. Try over here. I don't know. I guess we could try the super overhead look. See if that helps. That may help. Actually, yes. Okay. I don't know, guys. Can't figure it out. Why? Video capture properties. Let's look at that. Configure video. Let's try that. Aha. Autofocus. Minus. Minus. Save. Okay. I don't know. Does that look any better? Really hard. Really hard to get a good camera angle. There we go. There we go. I don't know. You guys just got to put up with whatever comes out of it. You just, like I said, I don't have a studio cameraman. So I'm just going to take the knife and trim this off here. And we'll do the same for the other side. All right. Super stickers are enabled on this. I don't know what that is, but whatever. I'm cutting about a 1/16 of an inch away from the foam. Do not cut below the foam line, otherwise that'll show up in your sheeting. That's why it's a good idea to trace it out and then cut it out. But if you have some experience and practice, you can control the knife pretty well. You know, I see a lot of guys building airplanes, and they're doing the best they can. They look all right. They're just, it's not really their fault. It's because they weren't shown the correct way. I can't explain it to you enough. If it's not easy, you're not doing it right. For the longest time, I couldn't figure out how the heck did them guys get, you know, back in the day, we used to have to tape everything out. This is before the sign plotter and all that other business came about. We taped everything out. And we used masking tape. Well, you know, I was a young guy then. I didn't know any difference. I didn't know about blue fine line tape. And then it was about 1969 or 70, I said, hey, Cal Custom sells some pinstripe tape. Go to the auto parts store, get pinstripe tape and tape things out. And I used to leave the tape on it because that's. And I thought, I wonder if this would work for masking tape. Sure enough, mask off with that 1/8 inch Cal Custom pinstriping tape. So, like I say, this before I knew they sold blue fine line, and I got to thinking, man, they got to sell something that makes those nice crisp lines on everybody's airplane. But I didn't know. Nobody would teach you. I hear guys, why nobody will tell you anything? Well, it's not true. A lot of people will tell you a story, but not tell you the story because they don't know. Well, time to up my stock in Dr. Pepper once more. There's another one. About 5 of them today. And the day ain't over. We ain't even close. It'll probably be a 6-pack day. Okay, we got L6. I doubt I get this wing done today. I could do it if I wasn't making a movie. Okay. Hit that like button. Damn it! We were talking about the dangers of control line. I have only seen one person hit. I've heard of many, but I've only seen one person in my life, personally, that was hit by a control line airplane. And it wasn't the pilot's fault, it was the idiot's fault who walked into the path of the airplane. Didn't hurt him. Could have been damaging if they'd hit him in the head or something, hit him in the stomach. I'm not sure the propeller hit him. I think it was just a wing. But if you watch my FAA video where I'm talking about crashing control line airplanes in the building, that'd be a pretty difficult thing to do. Not something that I would aspire to take an airplane that took me 400 hours to build to intentionally crash it. Shit happens. Shit happens quick enough by itself, let alone trying to. Last Tuesday, I took my Tucker Special out to the field. Not to fly it. I just was on my way back from John's last Saturday. And the couple of guys were flying in the club. But I decided, I haven't fired this thing up. Let's see if it's going to work. Because of the extensive bench trimming and practical experience building, I fueled up the tank, put 2 drops of fuel in the Venturi, turn it over twice by hand, put the glow plug starter on it, and barely backflipped it. I mean, barely backflipped it. And it started right up, and it ran its tank out. So I would say that's a success. Now I'm just waiting for some decent days. Like I say, it's snowing out right now. Or it snows on the ground anyway. We won't be flying today. Ooh. I started out by dipping my silk span in a bucket of water, then applying it over the wing. Did it like that for 30 years. Simply spray it now. Also, rip and sand now instead of cutting to size. Learning. Good, you're doing it. Sounds like you're doing it my way. Which is not my way. It's some other old timer's way that taught me. I think my Uncle Jerry taught me that. Like I said before, if it's hard, you ain't doing it right. This is so simple. It's just a lot of work, you know. My buddy John says everybody's inherently lazy. I believe him. Okay. I'm gonna try to make this one perfect. You know, I got plenty of airplanes to fly. Will I get any? You know, I'm not gonna do that great at the Nats anyway. That's our first contest of the year, really. Oh. So I just do what I can do. Close enough. You know, I think Bob Hunt charges $300 to build a wing like this. I ain't doing it for $300. I mean, you think about it, you can do it in one day. So that's 300 a day. That's pretty good. Man, that's a long day and a lot of work. Okay, we got that. We're getting close. Let me throttle this heat back a little bit. I think that the snow on the roof offers insulation because it keeps getting warmer and I'm not turning the thermostat up, turning it down. Okay, let's do 8 and 9 instead of, because I would like to take all this foam stuff off, put it back in the other cradle, show you how to set this up to build a wing before I call it a day. I looked at your channel, SD. You must be a young guy. you're going to make a 1 gazillion tunnel on my, well, I don't know what they use today, but I did HO, and what I did for mountains and terrain was you build a skeleton out of wood, 2x2 wood, and you take chicken wire and staple the chicken wire to the track, and then go up to the skeleton to make the mountain. Chop a hole in the chicken wire to make a tunnel. Then you take flour and water and newspaper and paper mache the chicken wire. That's about as cheap as you're going to get by. And it looks pretty realistic too when you're done. What happened to 10? I know I had 10 cut. I think I had it sanded too. Oh, there it is. Chicken wire is cheap. Old scrap wood is cheap. Staples are cheap. Do they even make newspapers anymore? I haven't seen any. Cut the newspapers into 2 or 3 inch strips. Dip it into a flour and water paste. I think you add a little salt to it too. You might want to search the internet how to make paper mache, but or maybe it's baking soda. Yeah, that's only been 50 years ago since I done that. Plaster wire and model bricks. Well, plaster's pretty heavy. Paper mache is pretty light. All your masks and things on parades, you know, Rose Bowl parade and those floats and stuff, it's all paper mache. It's not plaster. Plaster is very heavy. I'm going to be doing, sooner or later, a couple videos on teeth. These are, my teeth are in need of repair. So, you just order the teeth online. I'm waiting on alginate. I still haven't bought any alginate. And I have a, where the heck did it go? I think in there. I don't know where it's at. I guess it doesn't much matter because we ain't gonna do nothing with it today anyway. Oh, here it is. I have the articulating jaw. They go in here. I'm gonna build a set of bottom teeth to match my tops. But as a modeler, as a good modeler, you should be able to build anything. Anything. You just got to think about, you know, when I was a kid, I didn't have the money to pay somebody to do my mechanic work. Didn't have the money to pay somebody to weld, to machine. So I had to learn how to do it all. And my dad said, after hitting me with a board, you can and will do anything you set your mind to. And he's a modeler too. And you know, you can't believe how right he was. And now with the internet, there's a video on everything. There's videos on how to make teeth. I've watched them. It's just that, you know, it's the same as if I was going to make a spinner, which I have videos on my channel here how to make a spinner. It's the exact same process, except you don't bake a spinner in the oven for at 350 for 20 minutes, but I suppose you could. So I'm going to do a teeth video when I do them. I guess I should order that alginate before. I was just going to take some blue superfill and build the gum on this set here and set the teeth in blue superfill, but I'm not sure that would look very good. You know, when you think of a model maker, let's say you're going to be a model maker for Boeing or NASA or the government or whatever. Model maker is not what I'm doing here. What I'm doing here is a model airplane builder. A model maker can weld, cut, fabricate, machine, design, layout. You could do just a bit of everything. And a good model maker is hard to find. That's why a tool and die maker makes more than a machinist, because the tool and die maker makes the tools that the machinist use. So you kind of have to be able to think outside the box to be a tool and die maker. Plus, you have to know how to use every machine in the shop. But necessity is what's taught me a lot of this stuff. You know, I painted motorcycles and welded and customized frames and this because I couldn't pay somebody. And I think I'm better off for it. There are some guys that can't hang a picture or, you know, whatever. I basically know how to do it all. Do I want to do it all? No, I don't want to do anything. Except build model airplanes, but I got to call my dad today. I haven't talked to him in a couple of weeks. I better call and make sure the coronavirus ain't got him. Which I doubt he's in the desert. He ain't going to go out there to Nevada. Okay, got that. One more of the big ribs, and then we'll start laying it out. Oh, I better mark it down. L8. L9. Let's do 10. Now I'm going to do the wingtips different than my Junar. My Junar is a wingtip very similar to an I-beam wingtip. It's a piece of 1/2 inch. Matter of fact, I might have one here, an extra that I've cut. Real simple. I think I'm going to use my unobtainium Meslick wheel pants on this airplane, and I don't care what it's got to have wheel pants on it to be a. There's a carbon fiber rev up. doesn't work. I got lots of rev up propellers. A bunch hanging there. Anyway, there's another one. Where is that wing tip? Ooh, I even got ribs cut, I think, already for it. Let's see, that's 3, it's 2. Let's check it out, see if they're the same. I might have plywood ribs already cut out. That'd be great if I did. Or they could be tougher ribs, I don't know. Nope, ain't this. Bummer, dude. We'll be making those. Wanted to show you a wing tip. Got a bell crank. I'm gonna need that. Gonna need hinges. I'll get everything out that I need. Well, I don't have a wing tip. That's gonna be a different shape anyway, so it doesn't much matter. But trust me, it's the wing tips that I used on the the Junar were just a 1/2 inch. Yeah, this is the Coroner. The wingtip is just a 1/2 inch perimeter, just like a I-beam wingtip on the Junar. However, I did block in the leading edge. And I'm going to be doing this a little different. I'm going to build these as a plate wingtip, very similar to the way that I do my Continental wingtips. But we're going to use 16th, and then I might try to mold that piece. I don't know. I'm not sure about this bell crank. This is a Tom Morris bell crank, very stout. But I think in the weight area, they're kind of hefty. Well, it's 1 ounce. 30 grams with the bag, so I would say 1 ounce. Now, there's just some things you're not going to get away from. There will be no ball links on this one. It'll be old school. Yeah, and you say, why no ball links? Well, there's a couple problems with ball links. Here again, we're back to the lazy. Ball links work good. Ball links work good, but they lock up. The plastic tends to swell, so the ball, you'll hear them get squeaking sometimes. Now I'm going to give an engineering lesson, so to speak. And let's use a ball link in itself. Might as well just use the ball link. Now we got a ball link here. Let's bring this down so you can basically see what I'm talking about. I don't know, kind of off topic or whatever, but you got a ball link here. And it has an approximate friction diameter of 1/4 inch all the way around. Or Or you could solder an 1/8" tube into the control horn and put a 332 wire through it and have a friction area of 3/32. Now, you've eliminated this piece because you're going to have something to screw this onto anyway, so that something to screw it on will be just the wire itself, the 3/32 short piece of wire, which will weigh the same as the screw to screw this on to, but you have half the friction area. Now, the difference is, let's see, made out of metal. Okay, great. The difference is that you have to be very careful when lining up your push rods. After you solder the joints on, you have to be very careful to neutralize the acid that you used as a soldering flux. Otherwise, they can stick. They'll become corroded and stick. But if you are careful and make the alignment so that everything's free inside there, a bushed 1/8" or a bushed 3/32" horn is a whole lot more free than a ball length. And it doesn't have the possibility of swelling and seizing up. So that's my rant on ball lengths. So let's do 10. A homemade HO scale big boy made out of metal. Well, I hope you have machining skills. I think this is all blown out of proportion. Let me explain to you why. We got about 50 people who've passed since this started. How many have passed with the flu? We had about 20,000 pass from the flu. They didn't shut the country down for that. There's an old saying in AA, this too shall pass. Everything will be fine. And not only that, there ain't nothing you can do about it anyway, so don't worry about it. Don't be licking any doorknobs, but but come on, guys. Okay, we got one set of ribs done, less the half ribs, so might as well go ahead and finish those two. I need to cut them out though. This is L10. L-10. L10. Let's go ahead and do 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Then we'll go ahead and notch them. I'll lay out the spar locations, show you how to shim them and the trailing edge. If I had all the parts cut, fitted, and done, but you can build this, you can put this wing together in 15 minutes. I'm not kidding either. Once these parts are cut, half an hour tops to build the whole wing. This is the part that I kind of absolutely dreaded doing. But once it's done, it's done. I'm going to have to lay out the molds for the leading edge bucks. In all actuality, if you were doing time management, it should have been done first, which I might get to that off camera because I think I've shown that at least a dozen times. I'm pretty sure that I've showed this wing building operation a few times too. Really nothing new. But just remember, teaching is reminding, learning is remembering. Nicholas Gage, if you're watching, I still got your picture on my wall, and I'm glad you have my saying up on your wall. Finish starts with the first piece of wood cut. Yeah, don't run out and lick the doorknob. I got my own theories on what's going on in the world. If you'd, I don't want to say them online. I'd probably get the video taken down. But it ain't what you think it is. Boy. I still got to put holes in these ribs. Which doesn't take very long the way I do it. A couple of minutes can pretty much hole out all these ribs. I still need the stiffeners to be glued on. Yeah, it ain't what you think it is. It's a scam. Well, half the ribs are cut. Unbelievable. But they're not finished. Cut but not finished. Still need to notch them. Add the stiffeners. And core them out. Well, SD, I applaud your, your ingenuity if you do it. It's a lot of work. Because metal don't sand like wood. Okay. All the ribs are cut, finally. Where are these? LH1. Maybe they're not cut. That's one. Oh yeah, they're cut. Okay. Getting confused. Getting old, I guess. That goes there, that goes there. Nope, that ain't right either. What's going on here? This goes here. Well, this goes here. Damn. That's why. These are plywood. That's why I'm screwed up. Okay. All the ribs are cut except the plywood ribs. So let's do this. We broke this. This was 3/32. I'm going to need some shims anyway, so let's make some shims. It is a good piece of wood, but it's busted, so no big deal. So we'll make the shims out of the broken side. So take the scripper. Okay. I probably should straighten that up and then straighten it up and then cut it off. You can't have too many shims either. So we're gonna need 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. That should be enough here. Now these shims that I'm cutting are the same thickness as the leading edge sheeting. The leading edge sheeting and the trailing edge. What this does is it shims up the spar. If you don't do that, you'll build your wing into a warp. And that's not good. That should be enough. So we broke the piece of wood, but saved it as shim. So that's okay. Okay, that's all the shim stock. Okay, I got my cradle here. This is the top half, so they all go back in backwards. So the best way to do that is to just put it on top, turn it over. This is top left. Yeah. Now this is the cradle we're going to build in right here. Damn. Yeah. 10. Got to set this out of the way. Okay. I'm going to run the vacuum again and clear up some of this scrap stuff here. Now, on the videos, Bob Hunt's videos, he said to tape these two together and build them together. I don't do that because I don't have the room. I only have the room for one half the wing at a time, then join the wing halves. They still come out super straight. There's a couple of different procedures that you have to use to get them to come out straight, but it's not a big deal. And I'll show you that. So you too can build one half a wing on your card table. Well, card table with glass on it. And get a straight wing. This is my tool for coring out the ribs. I gotta save those, so this all goes over here. Okay. All right, those shims that I cut before, they go right here. They hold the spar up off the foam. The thickness of the trailing edge. And if you don't do this, you're going to build a warp into your wing. Okay, then you take your spars. Yeah, we'll do it this way. Actually, we'll do it this way and cut off that piece. Now remember, Bob has this laid out for 1/4 inch spars. I don't use 1/4 inch spars, but I use the front line. I use 3/16 spars. But I use the front line to build from. So you make sure that your spar stays along that pen line in the front. Now, if the stick is a little crooked, and I do mean a little, I don't mean a snake, a complete bow around the corner, that's not a problem. If it's a little crooked, when you glue all this stuff together, everything will be straight. I think this tucker is going to have painted on stacks and painted on smoke. It will not have gold on it. I'll guarantee you that. It'll be red, but it will not be red and gold. We're going to forego the gold paint. Biggest mistake I ever made. That's close enough. Not building the watch. Good enough for Devers. Okay, what did I do with that? Okay, now that's right hand. That's left hand. I haven't cut this trailing edge piece yet either. I'm going to tell you a story about that as well. Now, if I measured everything right, perfect. Okay. Hunt has this drawn out for a 1-inch piece of wood on the trailing edge. I've been using, let me see here. Yeah, I've been using 3/4. I wonder if I ought to go with the 1-inch. I don't know. Is it necessary? I know I won't be going with 1/4-inch cap strips. Ain't no way. Yeah, let's go ahead and cut the trailing edge pieces. We'll make them 1-inch. He's got them 1-inch. I'll make them 1-inch. But I made the other ones 3/4 and capped it with. See what that does? If you make this 3/4, but see these little ribs here are also set up for 1-inch. If you make, I don't want to go through the work I did on that. If you make these 3/4 instead of 1-inch, you leave one piece off completely. And you say, what do you mean? Well, 1/4 4 times is 1-inch. So you've left off one piece. Let me think about this for a minute. This one here is 3/4 with a 1/4 cap. So it ends up being 1/4. This one would be 1.25 inches. Yeah, we're gonna make it 3/4, not a inch. So I'll be leaving one of these sticks off. So I'll cut one at 1-inch, and we'll weigh it, and then we'll cut it at 3/4 and weigh it and times it times 4, and that'll tell you how much I've left off. Oh, sorry. Okay, here's my sheeting that I'm going to be using. This stuff is all in the 4-pound range. This is 13, so this is 395 weight. But you don't want to use the lightest piece of wood on the trailing edge. You want to use the correct piece of wood on the trailing edge. So we're going to use this for leading edge sheeting. It's a good A grain. This is kind of a cross A grain. This is a great piece of A grain here. So that'll be inboard leading. So we'll make this the center piece. Let me write that down. IB center. IB center, man. IBC, that's good enough. So you got IBC, and this is the second and third piece. This is a good piece of A grain. This is OBC. This is the piece that will get, I mean, it'll all get wetted when I cut the triangle to mold it. But this is the piece that will be wet and will bend the easiest around the buck because the grain is super straight. It's good A-grain stuff. Now this piece here is a snake. You say, what are you going to do with that? I don't know. We're going to set that aside and look at another couple pieces. Yep, we got another snake. It's light. I guess we could use these. We could use these on the buck. It's split right there, but that doesn't mean anything. Now there's a good trailing edge piece. The grain is super straight. It's straight this way. It's light. This is a good trailing edge piece too. I think we'll use this piece. Okay, so we'll use this as a center section sheeting. OBC, this is a 1, 2, and center section sheeting and trailing edge. So it does take all these pieces of wood. So 2, 4, 6, 8 pieces of 4-inch wide wood to do this. You could do it with 3-inch. It just takes 2 extra seams. So the first thing I want to do is I want to cut this piece of wood here 1 inch wide. We'll get a weight on it, then I'll cut a 1/4 inch off of it and weigh it. Weigh the difference and times it times 4. First thing I want to do is straighten it up. This is a meter stick. It's a metal meter stick. It's not a yardstick. Very crappy for measuring because I'm used to the imperial. But it's a good straight edge, real straight. So let's cut this piece. And we'll cut it 1 inch wide at first to get a weight on it. Well, actually, yeah, we'll do that. Just this is an experiment. I wouldn't normally do it, but I'm on camera. We'll go ahead and do it. That's 1 inch. Just because I can. Now this is a piece of 1 inch. Let's weigh it. And then we'll cut a 1/4 off of it and see what it weighs. Or weigh it again and get the difference. Okay, this piece here weighs 4 grams. So essentially what I'm going to leave off the airplane is 4 grams. Well, a 1/2 ounce is, let's see, is 15 around about. And a 1/4 ounce is 7 around about. So we're going to leave 1/8 of an ounce off. Doesn't sound like much, You do that 10 times, it's quite a bit. Okay, let's cut this puppy 3/4. 750. I'll go ahead and cut all the pieces. Got a little tension in it, but should be all right. Let's see here. You're probably wondering what the heck I'm doing here. If you don't put it back the way it was, it won't be straight. So we're gotta make sure I got this in right. Try it this way. No. Try it this way. Yep, that's the way right there. So need to remark that. Okay, you see how this is bowed out? Probably a 1/16 of an inch. If I cut it straight without pulling it back to its original piece of wood, because you remember I cut the first edge straight, and then I cut the second, it'll have a curve in the back of the trailing edge. So we're going to put it back, pull it back to where it was, and I'll just cut through the tape. Because that will come out of it when we lay it out. It'll be more clear as I go. I'll show you with the calipers what I'm talking about. Okay. Damn, I moved it. Okay, now, had I have not pulled it back to the original piece of wood, the consistency of this would be 3/4 down here, this would be 1 inch, this would be 3/4 down here. It would cut that bow in it. So now it should be consistently all 3/4 or thereabouts. It looks like it's a few thousandths bigger. Looks pretty good. Looks like it could sand a little bit on this end. It's actually not right. Oh, I got it at 850. That's why. 750. Yep, close enough. Now it has a hoop in it. It bends a little bit because it sprung away from that other piece of wood, but that's all right. You just people got to realize these are living things, and it's always trying to go back to the sun. That's the direction the sunlight was in. If you get a warp in it, a bow or whatever, it's trying to go back to the sun. But it doesn't matter because we're going to make it do what I want it to do anyway. So now instead of recutting, I just want to make sure that line was square. Yep. I actually got this a few thousandths bigger. 30 thousandths bigger. Instead of 750, it's 780. But we can live with that. We'll just go ahead and mark it at the 780. Oh, I broke that piece up. I did. Oh, well. It was 4 grams when we started. We'll reweigh this. Get an accurate weight of the weight saving. Is it worth it? Nice. All right, guys, you want to ask me a question? You better ask me. Help me keep this going. It's hard to talk for 2 hours by yourself. Man, them are straight too. See, right on down there, straight. So, and we have a piece left over that I'll cut into 3/16 stripping for the cap strips. Okay, so we got 4 pieces that come out. So we want to square these up. And to do that, we'll use the miter box and the back saw. Do them all at once. That one there's a little bit bigger. Have to sand that, or cut it off the other end, maybe. And we won't worry about squaring them up till after it's on. Okay. This here is a cap strip. Should be, looks to be about, I don't know, maybe get one out of it anyway. Maybe get one out of it. Come on. All right. Okay, the other one was 4 grams. Let's see what this weighs. 2 grams. So we save half the weight. 4 grams, 3 grams. Yeah, we save about 4 grams total. All right, I'm building off the front lines. So You want to position your trailing edge piece. Let's see if I do it this way. If I do it this way, that means less grinding. So let's do it this way instead. Ah. You notice there I had a knife underneath there, and I felt that the jig was in a twist. Before you start gluing, make sure that jig is down on the glass. The only thing here is we're going to have to cut back my little triangle pieces that I made. I'm going to have to cut a 1/4 inch off of those. So, back saw. All that wood I'm saving. All that wood I'm saving goes in the trash. SD70ACA, have you tried YouTube model builders? Them guys will help you out. Let me see if I can find the link for them. I follow them. Okay, give me a second, guys. I'm going to find this for this guy. What the heck happened to my mouse? Yeah. Well, now I can't find my mouse. Come on. There it is. Over there. Okay. We gotta go here and go here. Yeah. Okay. YouTube. There we go.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Welcome to YouTube Model Builders Live Show. I'm your host, Big.
Okay. Control C. All right. And we go back to here live streaming. I'm going to put in this link. This is for SD780. These guys helped me get started. Control V. you click on that, they got a good, they got more subscribers than I got, but I have more views than they have. I have more videos too. Let's see. And then there's also, well, maybe that's the only one they got. Yeah. Shout out to those guys. They're really a good bunch of guys. They're model train guys, but let's see here. Yeah. Yeah, they've changed their name slightly, but that's the same guys. Charles Vavalis is asking, where can you get the weights? Anywhere you can find them. They're just scrap pieces of metal. I'll answer him after the stream. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to notch these ribs and set them in. Then I'll come back over and then I'll hollow them and put the spreader in them. So this is LH1 and 2. Okay, I was using the front line. I got to keep remembering that. This here is important to get right. Otherwise, the ribs won't sit on there perfect. So take a little extra time to do this. To transfer the lines from the pattern to the rib. Okay. So where's one at? Oh, one is right here. I'm getting ahead of myself already. The front line. Okay. Front line. Okay, take it off and sand a notch in it. It's always auto-focusing. I wonder what the hell's going on. I guess I could turn that off. I'm gonna turn off auto-focusing. That really would bother me, so gotta go where? Here. Video capture properties. Configure video capture. Right sound autofocus. Save. Okay. It'll quit autofocusing now. Let's see what we're doing as far as numbers go. Live streaming. Current viewers is 10. Now I put that link in the description box for SD78 CFans NS, whatever that means. Anyway, that's YouTube Model Builders. Good bunch of train guys. Got a Dr. Pepper over there. Okay, let's carve up some stuff. Take our tool we made earlier and start sanding notches. This is L1. L1 top. We also need to make up a little balsa triangle or square or whatever you want to call it. So we got to do it between these two. And so by using a 3/16 spar instead of a 1/4" spar, you leave one stick off. By using a 3/4" trailing edge instead of a 1" trailing edge, You leave one piece off. Now, there's one other thing that I forgot to mention. You need to, where's that stick I had? It needs to get a stick up in front too. I forgot about that. You guys got me flustered today. What did I do with it? There it is. So we'll take this stick, cut it at 3/16 so we can use it for cap strips, but we'll use it as a spacer right now. So if you use 3/16 cap strips instead of 1/4" cap strips, you leave a whole wing's worth of cap strips off. And I have never had a problem with it. It's going crazy there. At a hard spot. Oh well. These won't be cap strips. It'll just be a spacer strip. Okay, didn't get a clean cut on that. Where the heck did it go? Okay, anyway, I'll do this now. You see, why does it need this up here? Because that's the thickness of the sheeting. Otherwise, it won't be built straight. It'll be built with a twist in it. Okay. Oh. Come on. I don't know why I'm being so particular, but because I'm going to have to take these off to hold them out anyway. I just want to see how we're going. So far, so good. You want to keep these perpendicular to the bench. That way your airfoil stays consistent all the way around. So let's do the two. Now, has anybody seen any plans come out yet? No. I don't know if there's ever been a big Tucker special built. Does anybody know? What happened to my sanding stick now? There it is. If it flies as good as my XL does, I'll be happy. Maybe we can make it lighter. Less paint. More sanding. L3. Ah, doesn't sound good. I can guarantee this will be covered with Japanese tissue. Guaranteed. That stuff works so good. I'm glad I bought 15 sheets of whatever it was. Okay, so we need, let's do 3 or 4 and 5. Yeah, but I need to cut this back too, so might as well get this ready. I'm gonna have to cut how much off of this? Not a whole lot. We're gonna have to cut 3/16 of an inch off. That's okay. This is the filler piece that goes right here. We'll just go ahead and glue that on. I'm gonna have to figure out my hinge arrangement. So I'll hit it with a little glue. Need something to put a little glue on and see if it's coming out of there. Oh yeah. If you guys are using more than a bottle of glue on an airplane, you're... Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me? Yes. What's happened now? Did the sound go out? Checking 1, 2. No, sound's on. Okay, good. We've been running 2 hours, 38 minutes. We'll go 3 hours and then I'll call it a day. So this is up. We're going to cut that much off of it. Actually need to cut some more off of it. That pocket must have been a little deeper. Okay. This one's 3/32, this one's 16th. It doesn't much matter because it's just a stiffener. But do try to make things the same. But it doesn't much matter. Okay, this is a 5 or 4. Let's do 4 and 5. So we're going off the front. Click that link, Big Iron. That link takes you to YouTube Model Train, guys. Good bunch of guys. They're the guys who got me started in live streaming. I knew nothing about it. They turned me on to OBS. If you like old guys, they're around our age. They're 60s and 70s. I'll bet you when I make them teeth on this channel, that'll be the highest viewed video I'll do. But it's all the same shit. L4. L5. God, what a pain in the butt. That's L5. It definitely goes there. I guess this one is backwards. It can't be backwards. I don't know. We'll figure it out when I get there. Things are so confusing. I used to maybe be able to remember all that stuff. Now I can't remember shit. I remember stuff 50 years ago, but I can't remember stuff I did yesterday. Six, seven. If you do this right, you don't need to pin the ribs in or anything. Just place them and glue them. L6. Of course, I'm just setting them because I have to take them back out, glue the stiffeners in, and core them. I'm not going to get this wing done today. I could probably move a little faster if I wasn't videoing. But maybe it may be a while before we're doing anything, so I got plenty of time. I'm just glad I haven't paid my Nats entry fee yet, just in case. Of course, I have entered Joe Nall. Let's see what happens there. Last year was rained out. Ended up donating the money for that. I don't want that to happen again, so. Okay, 3 more ribs and then we'll kill the stream. this thing is running straight. Looks pretty good. Pretty good. That's why that one fits so damn loose. Goes on like so. Come on. Yo, move my finger. Okay. Hit that like button, everybody. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Make sure that you ring the bell so you're notified. So you open up, you hit subscribe, and then it'll say hit the bell, and then say select all notifications. That way you'll get a notification when we go live or upload a video. YouTube has screwed that up. It used to be you were notified to anything you were subscribed to. But what they're trying to do is push mainstream channels. CNN, ABC, NBC, CBS, all the fake news. Instead of something you could learn something from. Got a new name. This is mine. I'm sure nothing's original, but not news, it's news theater. It's all a joke. Yeah, they don't out of toilet paper, can't even get newspapers for that anymore. Everything's on the computer. The computer. That one's short too. It'll be fine. Oh, that's the last filler, so that's good. That's good. You think windy tapes are boring? These have got to be really boring. L8. Use the front. L9. One more. I gotta call my dad today, so that's why I'm gonna end the stream for the weekend on this. When I finish this, this will be the end for the weekend. Got about 5 hours in it today. That's plenty. How many of you guys put 5 hours in today on your airplane? Whoa, what happened there? Put a little glue on it. This wood is so soft. This is that unobtainium wood. Okay, put the cap strip in it to see how it, or the top spar on it, see how it works. Should should slip right in there. And there you have it. It's basically together. One half. Now I'm going to sight down it. Make sure that it's all right, pretty, running pretty true. Looks pretty good. Could relieve that one just a smidge. Somehow it didn't get sanded quite. Let's see which one it is. Yeah, it's number 3. 3's under tension. There we go. Now before I glue this, I'll take a little square and I'll square all these ribs up so that they're perpendicular with the bench. Yep, that straightened it right out. And I don't know whether we can show this or not, but we'll give it a try. Let's see here. So it's in this direction here. If you look down this wing, all the tops, everything's lined up. If you look down the leading edge, it's all lined up. If you look down the trailing edge, it's all lined up. So basically, the next operation is to take the ribs back out. I know it sounds redundant, but nothing's glued, so it doesn't much matter. We're going to take the ribs back out. I'm going to glue a stick on top of this, a 3/16 wide stick between each spar so that the spar doesn't crush. It's a anti-crush thing. Then I have to mark the shear webs. The shear webs go out to here. I leave these out. It doesn't need them out past the landing gear. I'll probably use 3/16, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and make that an 1/8 inch. Unless I can't find any 3/16, because I really don't have much 3/16. I might use 1/8 inch all the way out. I don't know. It has to have those shear webs in to keep the wing from racking back and forth, though. So you need to make those shear web marks before you glue the leading edge on. This is a C-tube wing, so that you can glue the leading edge on and glue inside it through here with a snorkel with those tubes that I use. Balsa dust. Whew. Anyway, I appreciate you watching. Appreciate the super chats, the thumbs up, the shares, the new subscribers. Hopefully we got a couple new subscribers on the deal. Let's do this a little different than normal. I might turn some people off, but I'm gonna say something here, and hopefully you'll understand. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Thanks for watching. Until I see you again, fair winds, tight lines. Like, subscribe, and share. See ya. Balsa dust. Woo. Anyway, I appreciate you watching. Appreciate the super chats, the thumbs up, the share.